Hello everybody, my name is Heather Mills, and if you want, maybe after my speech you can call me the whack job of class, that's fine, because I'm here to talk to you about how it is highly probable that aliens do exist. And my definition of an alien is any life found outside of the Earth that did not come from Earth. And the importance of looking into this, I mean, I realize you think about it like, okay, aliens, whatever, but actually, the government is looking at cutting back on the space exploration, and that would be very harmful to furthering our information about space and about us as human beings if we do that. So, the overview of my argument, I'm going to talk about the probability, how it is highly unlikely, the probability of life besides Earth, and then also I'm going to discuss how we do have life here on Earth that could relate to life on other planets. So claim 1, the probability that life besides Earth is great from a numbers standpoint. NASA has estimated the universe to be about 150 billion light years wide, and a light year is about 6 trillion miles, and that came from the NASA website. That makes the universe 1.8 times 10 to the 23rd miles long. If you were to look at that number or to write that number down, that would have 21 zeros. That's incomprehensible for most of our brains. And if you were to try and place the amount of planets, stars, moons into that, your brain would just go crazy and explode. So what I'm trying to say is the probability that we're the only body to contain life is too far-fetched in the scheme of things. In fact, a study published in Science Direct gave note to several planetary systems having planets similar to Earth that exist. They found that in 54 out of 86 systems that we can see, because there are many that we cannot see, that the potential for dynamic, inhabitable Earth-like planets can exist, and in 20 systems in 86, the giant is there are at least 20 moons that are Trojan planets that could sustain habitable life. So it's okay if you don't want to believe that there could be other habitable planets, but let's consider the life that we have here on Earth that lives in very extreme environments. And life can evolve in very different ways than our own. And I have a quote here from Stephen Benner, and he is from Chemistry and Life and the Search for Aliens. And he is a well-known scientist, and the quote says, while life may universally be self-sustaining chemical system capable of Darwinian evolution, alien life may be quite different in its chemistry from the terrain life that we know here on Earth. In this case, it will be difficult to recognize, especially if not advanced beyond the single-cell life forms that we have dominated such of the terrain of our biosphere. So essentially what it's saying is that life on other planets could be something very, very different from the life that we have here, and that when we do go to explore, it may be very difficult for us to recognize exactly what we're looking for. As far as life here on Earth, we have some bacterial evidence on Earth of life that could live on very different that could live in very extreme conditions. There is hundreds of extremophiles living in unusually uninhabitable places on Earth. Extremophiles, that means they can live in places that are really hot, up to 120 degrees Celsius, extremely acidic, anywhere from pH 3 or less, extremely alkaline environments, which is, I believe, from 8 to 12, and then many metal tolerant, which can sustain in highly metallic environment, which is similar to a lot of the planets that we have here in our own solar system. So from these claims, I would like you to draw the inference that it is highly likely that there is life on other planets, and that because of that we should keep exploring and we should keep finding information. Thank you.
All right, the proposition stated clearly. It's a little simplistic, but it's definitely clear. The secondary claims, they're not all phrased as declarative statements. It sounds like the structure of a speech at the beginning, but during the speech you don't really signpost and separate those claims, and so I think it loses quite a bit of the structure during the presentation. You did a good job providing some factual data as background about the size of the universe, an estimated number of systems, and so on and so forth. So I thought there was some good information there. You had a couple of good quotes talking about probability statements. I think you could use some examples about the different extreme environments on Earth where we have life existing in those particular habitats. You kind of keep it at a very generic level, and that's one of the problems with the speech. Everything stays at a very general level. It's theoretical in nature. There aren't any particulars on this except for the statistics when you talk about probabilities, and probability statements are not always they're not always convincing when people don't have something else to follow them up with, and that's where I think you need a little bit more concrete data. All right, thank you.